You know, and it's like,
what up, virtual people? Welcome to episode 83 of VCR Redux, where we take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2022. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink.
How you doing, everybody?
And we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, the third leg of our VCR tripod himself, Mac Daddy Mickey Torres is back on the show.
What's up, everyone?
Also approaching VCR veteran status, coming to you all the way from Miami, where he rules the nightlife under the handle Crash Override. Screenwriter Sean Gold is back on the show.
We are here to talk the garbage file and hopefully not talk the garbage hosts, but we'll see.
Oh man.
Well, I can tell you that we're here to crash and burn, hack the planet, and join the elite, but in reality, we're all here today because we have zero cool. That's right, folks. This world needs Hackers 2 Reloaded, and we're here to give it to you.
No, it doesn't.
But before we Phantom freak the fuck out, we need to talk about how hackers came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that includes everyone watching the live chat as well. Was it Love at First Laserdisc, Vital VHS? Hit us up in the live chat and let us know how hackers came into your lives. So, Sean, tell us about the first time you watched this 1995 masterpiece of a film.
All of those words you couldn't say with a straight face if you tried, Chris.
First off, okay, this movie, I was loving the trailer. Okay, it had cool kids skateboarding, preventing a worldwide environmental catastrophe using the power of technology, and it was at a time that people didn't understand how this magical box called the computer worked. So you could go in there and hack into stuff and cause ATMs to shoot money and computer programs and viruses, and it was pretty cool. So I saw it, I love it first trailer, and then it was on TV, Cinemax. It was one of those movies they always played, you know, along with another great skating movie, Airborne, at the exact same time. That's such a good time, the mid-90s. But yeah, it was always on, and I always wanted to be Dade Murphy himself, Zero Cool, going into there, crashing Wall Street, just sitting on my computer late at night, even though I had no computer. It made me want one. This movie probably started a whole generation of IT specialists and computer science career takers, and rightfully so. Two thumbs way up.
The power of dial-up. The power of dial-up.
Oh, yeah.
Look, let's be honest. We all remember being on dial-up playing Doom, and your freaking mom answered the phone, and it was just like, you just died. Like, Mom, stop! Put the phone back on the line.
AOL chats.
Oh yeah, you gotta have the screen name. You gotta have the screen name, but Zero Cool is already taken.
I did see a TikTok the other day of this this lady who was like, you know, you really want to feel old, and she clicked a button, and it was the Gateway computer startup noise.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh wow! Oh god, I forgot about Gateway.
There, you just heard it. Everybody at home, you just heard it in your head. That noise, you just heard it.
My first computer was actually a compact. I remember that.
My first computer was TV.
I think the only thing I used the computer for recreationally until about 1999 was a Blockbuster trivia game. I think it was like a CD-ROM game that they sold at Blockbuster, and like I got it, and like my friend Adam got it, and like it was always like, oh, who can beat Chris? No one's ever going to beat Chris in this game. And eventually I learned all sorts of movie trivia and weird shit that like I probably don't remember anymore about movies.
Oh, come on, it's paying off right now. It's paying off right here.
Yes,
there you go.
That's
for our home audience. Yes,
that's all he used the computer for. That's it.
Right. I should introduce myself properly as 1993 Barrington, Illinois Blockbuster trivia champion.
Yeah,
Chris Styles.
Ian, those pages took a hell of a long time to load back in those dial-up days.
Dude, they really did.
And came along with like 50 million pop-up screens that you had to access.
Oh man!
I just want to see this. Click. No. Click. No, I don't want a soda. Click. Dang it. Click. No.
It took 34 seconds to close a window when someone walks in the room.
Yeah. Unplug it. Unplug
it. For years.
Oh, that didn't take long. Jesus Christ.
For years, my mother, and I think to this day, it's still in her computer desk. She had all those free AOL.
The disc.
CDs. I know she still has them somewhere.
Boot it up and get your screen name, get ready to go, and and they'll have all that other extra fun stuff that comes, like, you know, Fandom.com.
So that's
what did you use AOL for? Essentially texting. Hey, what's up? Nothing. What are you up to? Nothing. Cool.
Yeah, but really? You could also like that was like the first like time like chat rooms and AOL chat rooms where you could literally like chat with complete strangers and stuff like that. It was like, you know, like Chris Hansen was monitoring the status of your chats.
Not Chris Hansen. Oh gosh. No.
Oh my God. All right. So going all the way back to 95 on this one, Mickey. I know this was a date movie for you. I don't even have to ask. Don't tell me.
I don't think it was a date movie, but I did see it in the theaters.
You did see it in the theaters.
Yeah, I think I saw this with my friends because we were all hyped about the trailer. We saw the trailer.
The trailer was dope.
We're like, yes. We're like, I mean, like it was like rave music, techno music, stuff like that. It was, like cool kids doing like computer hacking and stuff like that. Like,
not to mention rollerblading.
Angelina Jolie, like our first like look at Angelina Jolie was like, oh my God, who is she? It's like you had to watch this movie.
Everything that you both have said about this film so far has been poetry to me. And now comes Ian to crap over this masterpiece of a film.
Look,
Ian,
the thespian of the group.
Jaded 11-year-old Ian was too
English
cool for
patient of the group.
There are times in your life when you change, all right? The first time you plugged in that Apple II and you played the Oregon Trail and your sister died of dysentery, right? Your world changed, okay?
Wolfenstein.
Right.
My Lyman.
Growing up in, Eldridge, Iowa, I can't really say that the world of hackers really kind of came into play. So this movie was a completely I remember watching the trailer and I'm like, I have no idea what this movie is. I have no desire to see it. And let's be honest, I saw, the actress from Cyborg 2. I said, all right. And I walked away.
Been worse. It could have been from Cyborg 3. Come on.
Oh, even better. But this is a movie, a fan of the show who was on last week, Derek Lipkin, right? That man is obsessed with this movie. And I remember him coming over to my dorm room in college, and one of the movies he brought was Hackers, when I finally saw Hackers. And so I got to be honest, I was late to the game with Hackers. So a lot of it seemed kind of irrelevant at the time of watching it. Because
what year did you watch it?
I was about to say.
That's what I'm saying. It was like 2004. When I watched Hackers, so it's kind of
you were living that high speed life.
Yeah, excuse
me.
Right.
Party, pal.
That's right.
You missed out. You missed out on one of the greatest parties of 1995, and believe me, there weren't that many great parties in 1995.
There was a few.
Actually, there were a few good ones. Actually, I'm gonna refer that. There was a lot of good stuff in 1995.
Well, maybe if I were on the Sean Gold Miami nightclub tip,
exactly.
I'd be saying the same thing. I was freezing my ass off.
Sean Gold and Cocaine Bear have a lot in common.
I was freezing my ass off in the Chicago suburbs back in 1995, and it was a record cold winter. Record cold.
But I will say this. I remember watching it though, and the techno music that I loved about. If there's anything in Hackers relevant that kept going, it's the music. That was something I was gonna bring up, that I really like the music. But the only other thing I remember the most when I watched Hackers was going, this is not the guy from Short Circuit. Why is he a villain? Like, this makes no sense.
Well, this was the first time I knew, I didn't even know, when I saw, this was the first time I saw Fisher Stevens. I saw Short Circuit, but obviously he was unrecognizable to me. And then
what about Only You? You didn't see Only You with Downey and Marissa Tomei?
Look, I don't think I saw that before I saw Hackers. I probably saw that later.
He wasn't just a villain. He was a skateboarding villain for no reason.
That's right.
Yeah,
it was awesome. And
it was a true tale of skaters versus bladers, and that's why the bladers prevailed in the end, because skateboarding was old hat, and clearly here we are. Who skateboards anymore? All the kids today, they're rollerblading. So we know which way history.
What, all three of them in freaking Phoenix, Arizona? Where do you see anybody rollerblading anymore?
I was being sarcastic. You gotta get out. Welcome.
I'm sure there are. You have to get out.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you where in Cincinnati in August of 2023 is where there's going to be a lot of kids rollerblading, but they're going to be older kids in their 30s, their 40s.
We call that sad.
Well, we just call it, an insurance opportunity.
Allstate will have a booth.
Hey, all you kids who used to rollerblade and have fun. Now you have 401ks. Come on over. Come on.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so before I get into my discovery of this masterpiece of a film, I do want to say hi to everybody in the live chat. I see Angie Saunders in there, Alex Bonafonte. I see somebody named Miyagi-Do Forever in the chat, which is really cool. I'm always a Cobra Kai fan and a fellow member of the same dojo. Some excitement that Sean Gold is here in the live chat.
Thank you.
Alex Bonafonte says, I have not seen Hackers before, but it looks terrible. Well, thank you very much for tuning in anyways.
It does not look terrible.
Great time capsule of a movie. It's like you missed out on something. If you watch Bill and Ted like after the 80s or Rocky IV after the 80s, it's like you're not doing it the right way. You watch Independence Day out of the 90s, it must seem insane.
Chris doesn't know what hacking the Gibson is.
Out there, there's a time capsule that was put together by some bully, right? And I know what happened.
Yeah, because bullies are out there. They're known for making time capsules.
They're making a lot of time capsules. Tracks. They want to be remembered.
What happened is
See, Ian's living that dial-up life right now.
And he put it inside the time capsule. And then I froze?
Yeah,
you did.
Dang it. I'm in the real hackers world.
Yeah, that's what you get for talking smack on the hack.
Yeah. That's your dial-up. Mom,
all
get
I'm
off
saying
the phone.
I'll tell you what.
I'm playing Doom. Mom.
I'm not done calling out the live chat because I see Matt Sharp in there. A lot of mashup makers in the chat today. The genius Matt Sharp, who says Chris looks like the perfect dude to hack a mainframe in the movie.
Yeah, he does. He looks like that guy Joey. Remember Joey?
Oh, yes, he does look like Joey. He just eats two cigarettes in his hand.
Yeah. It never hack across state lines. That's federal.
Some guy in Idaho is getting $700 from the ATM machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
I see Angie Saunders say, "I forgot who was in Hackers." OMG!
Oh my god!
So that's a good point to call out the cast like Joey, Jesse Bradford, serial killer, the great Matthew Lillard.
A lot of people forget. A lot of people forget a young Mark Anthony. Before J-Lo, before he was ever a big music star.
Oh, that was him, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh,
Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite actors as well, Wendell Pierce, plays Agent Gill. Also in the great Bye Bye Love, Gary David Goldberg masterpiece. You got Lorraine Bracco,
Lorraine Bracco.
Miller.
I had a huge crush on Lorraine Bracco.
Oh,
you would. I'm not surprised with that. I'm not surprised.
Got Lawrence Mason is Nikon. Renali Santiago is the Phantom Freak. Like, this cast is deep. This is
like an ensemble Academy Award winning cast. It's got the guy from Scream, the I'll Be Right Back guy.
Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, playing a guy that I don't know if he was homeless, but he was in school. I don't know what his deal was.
It's basically Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard plays Matthew Lillard, even when he's shaggy. Matthew Lillard.
There is a shout out to the great role of Chainsaw in this movie. Matthew Lillard performs a tension breaker. He screams at one point and says tension breaker had to be done. And that is my cue to tip our VCR caps to the late great Christy Alley, who just passed away.
Yes.
Is
R.I.P.
Yeah, someone that whose work we've loved forever, and we just need to pay our VCR respects to a VCR legend. Oh my gosh, that one is bumming us all out. But getting back to Hackers,
can we go back to Christy Alley movies, like anything other than Hackers?
What are you talking about? I mean, we could talk Airborne, Summer School. It's up there with Hackers.
All right, let's just talk about
exactly.
Hackers.
They're in the same. They're right there. They're 1, 2, 3,
neck and neck. But anyways, also in the chat, Alex Bonifante says, how great is Angelina Jolie, though? She's our generation's best pinup and best actress rolled into one. Pictures as iconic as Betty Page, performances on par with Meryl Streep and Michelle Pfeiffer.
I did have a Tomb Raider stand in my room in high school. I can't lie.
You had a Tomb Raider standee, and you're sitting here talking trash on Hackers.
I did.
I didn't
talk about trash on Angelina Jolie. that girl got interrupted and got an Oscar. Let's like come on.
From
like,
this movie. From this movie. Because
it all stems from Airborne.
This movie started her fan base.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what.
That followed her movie to movie to movie.
I'm gonna make a controversial statement, right? Because I love the whole cast of this movie, but I also feel like maybe Johnny Lee Miller should have been the one that blew up from this.
You know? He should have.
He is a guy that hasn't had the career that you thought he would have had.
He's done a lot of great stuff. But
and then landed on CSI, right? Like that was like the latest and greatest of CSI. It's pretty much
that's steady gig. Okay, you know you're not getting canceled. You know, I'll take. You know, did it? Where did Shoot from Summer School land? Was it like NCIS or something?
NCIS.
I think it was NCIS.
For like 10 seasons. It's career gold. You show up.
Chris O'Donnell does a shitty Batman movie, lands on CSI.
Exactly.
LL Cool J is his partner.
Exactly.
And CSI. Like
that's where legends go to level up.
Fucking Ice-T is on Law and Order in between Car Shield commercial gigs.
Oh yeah, but that's actually like good stuff. Like Law and Order is good. Like CSI.
Oh, is it really? Is it?
I mean, it was.
But speaking of.
I thought it was all like the exact same thing. But anyway, yeah, speaking of
Ice-T cubes, the point of all this is that this is in that time period of just a lot of weird movies. Like, think about this. It's like Hackers and Tank Girl and Biodome and all these kind of movies. Like, there was a
Virtuosity,
a great movie.
No, Virtuosity, a great movie. A terrible like Xerox copy of Terminator 2.
I don't care what you said. I watched the movie. I busted out the action figures. It was a great night. All right,
it's like Russell Crowe's worst performance ever.
Virtuosity is a great movie, but Hackers is horrible.
No, come on. Hackers inspired Virtuosity.
You make no sense. You make no sense, Harriet.
Hackers deleted Virtuosity from history. That's what Hackers did. We're not talking about Virtuosity anymore.
Did Hackers cut off a thumb and it digitally came back? No, they didn't, sir.
Yeah, but they had the
because they didn't need to resort to the cheap tactics that every other film had to have. Everyone had to have morphing and some T-1000 like character after
the Lawnmower Man, stuff like that.
Hackers didn't need
had
that.
Heart.
Hackers had heart,
and it had to follow the White Rabbit, right? That was it. Where he's like, where Lauren Bronco was like, "What? With the rabbit? The garbage? What?" Like,
I will say this: Hackers is one of those movies that I will say it gave a certain crowd a movie to really have like
a certain crowd. You mean like a vast majority?
No, I'm just
all of America.
This internet thing, you know, it's not really gonna catch on, but we'll see.
They didn't land.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think Hackers was going to stay around because Bob in Ohio wasn't really renting Hackers from the gas station. All right,
what was he renting? What was he renting? Children of the Corn? I mean, you're from Iowa. Is that like a go-to movie? He was
renting Steven Seagal in Justice Brothers 4. Like that's what he was renting. Like he wasn't.
But if that was out, he had an equally great film in Hackers, right there.
No. Bob wanted Steven Seagal. He got Steven Seagal. But I will say this: Hackers did. It's one of those movies where I think everybody behind it was in the right intentions. I think they were at the right time. I just wonder if
they had the best of intentions with this movie.
It's like if Hackers had been $1 million more, right? Been a studio
$1 million more.
$1 million more. Doggone it! Can you guys hear me or no?
Yeah, we can hear you.
It's still ridiculous. You can't improve upon perfection.
I have to look up what the fucking budget was because this was at least like a $15 million movie.
Well, they needed to spend
$1 million more.
They had the oil tanker shifting over. It was 3D rendered back in those days, which was cheap.
I'm just saying.
Ironically, the mainframe shots were actually motion control. Okay, the budget was $7.5 million. All right.
If they spent
it looked like a $15 million.
If they had spent 14 and had I think Hackers would have had more of a niche. You know what I mean? Look, The Matrix. Look, okay, everybody heard of The Matrix. All right, everybody heard of The Matrix. How many people on Average Joe's heard of Hackers?
Everybody.
A lot of people. A lot of the same people that watched The Matrix.
Where were you all at in 95? Like, good laws of nature. I was watching Dennis the Menace. I was watching this crap, you know. Like,
I was like 17, 18. I was 17, 18 in 95.
I was watching this shit on premium cable because I was like 11.
Yeah, premium cable, and it was just as amazing then as it probably is now.
It's a great movie.
I know. I'm the old man in the group. I get it, but I never got it. I just don't get it.
I feel like back in the day, someone offered you an investment opportunity, and you could have picked the internet or Laserdisc, and you put all your money in Laserdisc, and now you just hate the movie Hackers because it resembles the.
I never got over the end of AOL.
We should still be rewinding our Betamax tapes.
I'm on a flip phone. Got it. I don't know. There's just something about Hackers. I just couldn't. Like I said, the only thing of Hackers I can do, the soundtrack is incredible.
Somebody's hacking.
If you were to ask me, what is a great? Did I freeze again?
Crash override is infecting
the
chat and using
acid burn.
Moving forward, I'm gonna use a different computer. Good Lord.
Crash and burn.
Yes. Have a nice day with the smiley face.
The soundtrack. Pull up
the smiley face with the iPad.
The soundtrack was incredible. I will say that. Like, if you were to ask me to give a good, like, what's a great intro to techno, soundtrack, I would give Hackers soundtrack, to anybody. I do think whoever the music producer was genius on this movie.
Well, back in the day, there was a lot of great music producers in movies, music supervisors, soundtrack supervisors, whatever the exact term is. The 80s and 90s was filled with amazing soundtrack albums and of current at the time music, and now any movie that has a hit soundtrack, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's all vintage retro music, which is a sad time for pop music. But I don't want to get on too much of a pop music rant because I haven't even told how I discovered Hackers yet. Well, I guess I did. It was on premium cable in the 90s. All right, there's not much to that story, I suppose, but as I was
taking the magic out of it.
Yeah, taking the magic out of it, right? Okay, whatever. I was a young kid. I loved the movie, and I watched it again and again. But as I was rewatching it today, something clicked with me about this movie, and I know why, or I sort of know how this movie works, if that makes sense. This movie, to me, is a superhero movie. Like, it was made at a time when we understood computers just not enough to the point where these hackers are superheroes. And like, this seriously could be X-Men. It works exactly the way a superhero movie would work. Like, you delve into the world, you find out there's others like you kind of like team up, you sort of respect each other, there's a love story, and then they find this virus, they find about some dastardly deed, this worm program, and the Da Vinci virus, and they're just, studying it, and it's like, oh, this looks like it was written by a hacker. That's just like, oh my God, what is this? It's Kryptonian, or what is this? It's made out of adamantium. The movie works perfectly like a superhero movie, and the supervillain, of course, himself is a hacker. So
who skateboards. For no reason.
Yeah, and they're on fucking rollerblades, so it's a fucking superhero rollerblade movie. It's fantastic. 5 thumbs up. Fine holiday fun. I could not recommend this movie enough.
5 thumbs up. You got,
and you know how cool, like, some of the cheesiness, but like, it was cool at the time, and even when you watch it now, it's like pretty cool. When he gave him the laptop, and he's like, set your laptop to receive a file. And then he like sets it, and it's like his video, like Fisher Stevens is like doing the whole like his motions and everything like that in the video. It's like, we're the space cowboys. We're like, all this stuff.
That's keyboard cool. Cowboys.
The
digital samurai.
Digital samurai.
The cyber samurai.
Yeah.
That's some cool ass shit. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like that, like, to me in 95, I was sitting there going like, I would love that laptop. Where do I buy this? But like, but at the same time, I was like, at that time, those laptops were like $1 gazillion, so there's like no way I was buying a laptop.
Well, this was, I remember it's like this, the net with Sandra Bullock. You know, it's like it was all these like we think we know where the computer and the digital revolution is going, but it didn't go exactly where everybody wrote their screenplays to go.
Yeah,
I mean, it was always fun though because you could cancel someone's credit cards. Which one? All of them. You know, and to cut the credit card. I mean, that was always kind of like, wow, how do I do that? And how could I make the ATM shoot money? And how could I do all that?
Well, I'm sure I'm not the only one that tried to put those like, you know, four most used passwords when I was trying to do something.
See, the computer hack I always wanted was the John Connor one. I always wanted the Atari portfolio to plug into an ATM machine and make it give me money so I could go to the arcade.
Easy money. Yeah, it was
easy
money. Still don't even know how that works, but yeah.
So I could ride my Yamaha dirt bike while listening to Guns N' Roses on my way to the Galleria
with Bobby Budnick.
Yes, exactly.
and the telephone trick, because remember, like, you know, like nobody knows, like, you know, a lot of people, if you know, kids that watch Hackers today, like they don't know anything about payphones.
Yeah, so what's a payphone?
Yeah, right.
So they literally, like, you know, deposit the 5 coins, and he's like, you know, the sound of the coins going in, the $5.
Oh yeah, look, you record it, and you have it, and now you can make 3 calls. Those guys were dope. What station?
When I think of a payphone, all I can think of is Chevy Chase and Funny Farm putting coins in the jar to trick the operator. That's all I can think of.
Stop trying to change the subject from a masterpiece to a.
No, I'm going to try to get every goddamn movie other than freaking Hackers.
No,
well said.
We're coming up to the pitching time, and I know there's going to be a million pitches for this movie because it's that awesome and it deserves a sequel.
Pitch it overboard.
That's true.
Ooh, pitch it. Well, so like Hackers 2 Cruise Control.
Yeah. I just, but I wonder,
you know, like, what?
When you watch Hackers, sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna say Willem Dafoe is kind of a hacker villain in
he is. Oh,
yeah. He literally does hack a cruise ship.
He hacks the cruise ship.
Well, that's it. My only issue with Hackers now is, I mean, it's kind of vintage.
The only issue.
You love it so much.
But actually, I will say that's the one thing actually I do like about Hackers now is that it is kind of a time capsule for where we thought it was going. You know,
but Virtuosity is it?
Oh no, Virtuosity is just Oscar worthy, and just nobody got it. Like but
oh my god,
so
it's
much
like
so
Denzel tried, people.
About.
Like, come on, Denzel tried in that.
I love Denzel the actor. I don't know about Denzel the action star. I'm struggling to think of one that like I absolutely love of him.
Crimson Tide. Man on Fire, Crimson Tide, Deja Vu, Out of Time. Come on, stop trying to go away from Hackers. It's Hackers that needs to be the movie.
No, Hackers needs to be nothing.
We're here to celebrate Johnny Lee Miller, so you can either get with it or get the fuck out.
Yeah, Dade Murphy.
I like him in Frankenstein.
And Angelina Jolie. The goodness of Angelina Jolie and Lorraine Bracco.
Yeah, everybody in this movie is a star.
That's right.
And
Jesse
Mark
Bradford.
Anthony.
Come on.
Mark Anthony. When he's in the party at the party and he's undercover and he's all like dancing in like his techno groove with his Hawaiian shirt on too.
Yeah, I mean it's classic. It's
classic. For the rest of the episode, can we just have Mickey doing that dance? We don't even talk about Hackers.
That's what he did. That's what he looked like. That's what we all looked like when we were dancing techno back in the day. There was no moves. There was just like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Anything you did was techno. You sit there and go like this all day long. It's techno.
Fucking rave over.
Turn off your lights and just bust out the lights there.
Can we get the soundtrack going from that scene? Or is that
reminds me, the first time I ever went into a techno room, I was, imitating everything I learned from Hackers. I literally was sitting there twirling my hands and just it's like I'm in the techno room, hacking the world, hack the planet.
I wish I could have been there. Wow, that's
that
incredible.
movie inspires. I'm telling you, it was so cool.
I did read an article. A lot of cybersecurity, a lot of them got into the field because of hackers.
Yeah, so why this in the movie?
Hey, I'm just saying it's kind of interesting.
It's really noble, right? That's a noble thing.
We
right?
have a more secure digital playground thanks to the fine filmmaking of hackers.
And isn't that what makes a great movie? A movie that inspires.
Well, some of the greatest movies that inspire the most get the least amount of reward. And this is just one of those movies.
When people say it's Miller time, we're going to be talking about Johnny Lee Miller. No more beer. We don't need that stuff. None of that Milwaukee beer anymore. We're talking Johnny Lee Miller time.
Was he in Trainspotting?
He was.
He was. Okay, yeah.
Although it's called Trainspotting, not sporting.
Well, he's wearing a sports jacket, so he got confused.
Whatever. The baby's head spin around. I gave up. Back off. All right.
C-Sport run. So we are we're a little bit past the half an hour now, so we should be pitching our airborne sequels. And of course, that includes everyone watching in the live chat as well. What are your
what airborne sequels are we pitching? Yes,
okay.
I meant to say hack.
The heck
no. It's both. Okay, because check it out.
It's both, because Sean Gold's got a pitch, and I know it's coming. Here it is.
In Hack a Nice Day, that's what it's called. Hackers 2, Hack a Nice Day. Okay. The hackers have to hack the mainframe to stop the devil's backbone virus from spreading. Okay. It's a downhill hack because they have to keep moving. Okay? They can't be located with the GPS. And it's like a 5-minute race to stop the virus. It brings back the cast of both hackers and airborne together to come together like an Avengers Assemble and really, save the planet in some way, or save the international monetary system, or save everyone's pensions of the town. Something. That's my pitch. I think it's awesome.
Perfection.
It
does not get any better than that.
Even if it's just to save Cincinnati, I'm in.
In the pantheon of the finest pitches of VCR Redux history, this is right up at the top. It's a Mount Rushmore pitch right now. There's no topping this. This just doesn't get any better than this. Although I will throw one little sprig of paprika in, if I may, just to say,
of course, paprika doesn't ruin anything. Go ahead.
This virus and this digital race that is going to occur could totally be skateboarders versus bladers, boarders versus bladers. I'm just saying, it's perfect Disney Channel original movie. There, the bucks will just come flying.
But then you have to have basically Fisher Stevens gets out of prison and he's orchestrating this whole thing because now he wants revenge.
You could have the return of the plague.
You gotta have the plague, man.
So in a version that I thought of, I didn't get beyond, because again, it was hackers. I didn't get too deep into it because my brain couldn't handle the stupidity of it all. But I was thinking how interesting it would be to for whatever this movie would be, to have all of them the sellouts now. Because I can see Angelina Jolie as the Amy Smart, just dressed up all in like black turtlenecks, and she's completely
like Elizabeth Holmes.
That was one I was thinking of, not Amy Smart. I apologize. But
we're talking about Katie Holmes.
No, I was thinking of
Katie Holmes will play an Elizabeth Holmes type character.
That's the one who created the new show. Is she just got sentenced to jail for that?
Are they related to Mike Holmes from Holmes on Holmes?
Look, the
and
point.
I think that their cousin Holmes. John Holmes did a film or two.
All right. So anyway, my homies.
Did everyone freeze? Yeah, I think I probably froze because everyone I'm looking at froze.
You froze.
No, I can hear you though.
My joke was so awesome it crashed this episode of VCR Redux.
Chris looks like you look like you farted, and you're proud that you farted in the but I thought it would be interesting if you had all of them as starting off. They're the sellouts now. They're the big corporations in charge of computer stuff, and through whatever I like the idea of Fisher Stevens' revenge. I do. if they have to now go kind of rogue, you know, they have to kind of go against their boards. They have to go against their corporateness to kind of go underground again, because that in reality, that's what hackers would be. It would be underground world. But if you did a hackers movie today, we got to be honest, it would be completely.
So they got corporate jobs, basically, like
you know, they got
Crash Override. Johnny Lee Miller went to MIT and all that.
Yeah, like that. Like that's what it would be. They would be completely sellouts in the best way, where they're making lots and lots of money and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, again, if you have,
is there a downhill race?
No, just stop with the airborne. The movie died in 93. It stays dead. Let it go. People.
Yet it gave birth to Hackers, which was only like a year and a half later.
Oh,
right.
Greatness begets greatness.
You know, the 90s had very few highs for most of us, and for the sane ones, there was Airborne and there was Hackers.
Speak for yourself.
Don't try and
yes,
the 90s had a lot of lows.
Do the dance, Biggie.
But I do want to say, I do want to say hi. A few people in the live chat right now. I see Monica Thyman in there. Thank you so much for tuning in, Monica. Glad to have you here watching VCR with us, VCR Redux. Alex Bonafonte's calling me out on Training Day, Devil in a Blue Dress, and Malcolm X for Denzel action movies.
He
Devil in a
rightfully
Blue Dress
should.
was an action movie.
It is now.
It is now, I guess. I don't know. I never saw that one. But I'm more of the dramatic side. I tend to prefer that work. Any rate, Alex Bonafonte also says Bobby Budnick did his best to throw off the T-1000 in reference to our Terminator 2 side rant before.
I think I saw that kid you were looking for.
He saved all of mankind by instinctively lying to a cop.
My favorite line from that whole movie is when the girl's like, I think he went to the Galleria. The Galleria? He's so aggressive with that repeat. I love it.
I will say, just on a quick little side rant, I was looking for, because sometimes you watch a movie you've seen a million times and you're like looking for a flaw, and I was trying to find a flaw. Why does the T-1000 keep the picture? Like, he's a computer, can't he just remember it? Like, oh no, he needs it to show to other people to like, have you seen this kid?
James Cameron is going to hack into your computer and you're dead.
He already did. I was like gone for a sec. I don't know what happened. I disappeared mid rant.
Because my hacker pitch, Hackers 2, hack a nice day, was that awesome.
That's true. That's Devil's Hackbone. I'm just saying.
Ooh,
what the audience doesn't know is that in the spirit of this movie, we threw it back and we're all on dial-up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Don't call my house, please.
That's not too far. That's not too far from the truth. But I do, I also missed out on a little bit of what Ian was saying about that they've become sellouts now. These characters,
basically, John Lee Miller's character, he goes to MIT, and everybody, they kind of grow up and they're in corporate jobs. They're the heads of IT and corporate jobs and stuff. And then Fisher Stevens might want the revenge on them.
Which they all are ashamed of their background now. Of course, and again, I would love that to see Angelina Jolie repeat this character, but do hardcore Angelina now. I mean, she would kill it in this sequel. Kill it, whatever character she would be. But then, they have to kind of, as a group, kind of get back together because they're all in this. They're all in this revenge plot. And so they got to kind of put their minds together.
Or you could have it like a horror movie and basically, like one of them gets killed. Maybe Matthew Lillard gets killed.
Oh, don't kill the Lillard.
And they got to try to figure out who did it. And it's a whole hacking thing.
Kill the turd from,
Joey. You can kill Joey.
Yeah, we don't mind Joey.
Was he the turd from, Bring It On?
Then again, Joey's getting in trouble again.
Was he the turd from Bring It On?
Joey?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. He was in the.
Yeah, kill him.
Wow. Oh, we can't kill him. We can't kill him.
He's a great. That's another great movie that he was in.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't love Bring It On? We all love Bring It On. Like, I'm just saying. Chris,
like Bring It On.
Chris, don't
you like Bring It On, but you don't like Hackers.
Bring It On.
I say
what?
I say nothing. That's
nothing.
Right.
You watched that movie. You cried during that movie. Don't act like
I watched that movie and Pennywise wasn't anywhere in it. I was very confused. I thought it was going to be. I thought it was Pennywise haunting cheerleaders, and it was just cheerleaders haunting me instead.
So why did you watch all 5 sequels then?
Well, because I figured eventually he's going to show up, and it's going to tie it all together in the metaverse, because that's where movies are going now. Every movie is meta.
Bring It On could have a downhill race,
and that'd be a good mashup.
I wouldn't mind seeing Angelina Jolie as a villain if like say you did a newer version, they retooled it and basically like a reboot, and you have but you got like I said, the hacking is different.
She would be the Lorraine Bracco character.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like have her or her as the Fisher Stevens character. I mean, I think that'd be great too.
No, I don't want that.
Well, I don't want her. I don't want her. I don't want her.
We don't want that.
Can she ollie on a skateboard?
That's exactly.
I just want her as like villainous Angelina Jolie. I mean, you would fear her.
She can play the avatar of the computer virus.
Yeah.
Which is now like, and then they could uncover, like when they're like, oh, I've uncovered their NFT disguise, and it could be her. And she's gonna look exactly the same as she did in 1995.
That'd be a good cameo. That'd be kind of cool.
So you can have that, and Dave Murphy won't believe it. He'll refuse to believe it. And Mark Anthony will come in too. And he'll be like, I refuse to believe you're here as well.
And he'll sing to you, and he'll sing to you.
Yeah.
Well, I think an interesting way to play it would be to take, like, say, Matthew Lillard, Nikon, and Phantom Freak, Renali Santiago, have their characters still be kind of hackers, like sort of underground, but
they didn't grow up.
To have Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie became like tech moguls, right? Something has to bring them all together for the race.
You can bring them all together in the WeWork. That's it. They show up in the WeWork and be like, oh, you got downsized? So did I. And guess who else is here? And then that's where the movie starts, in the Soho WeWork.
Oh, that could actually be kind of interesting. They all get fired and they all come back together to get revenge on these big corporations buying each other out, and they're hacking
from a co-working space that offers free
snacks. It would be Office Space.
yeah. It'd be
it turns out that corporate merger was part of a virus or a hack or something as a smokescreen.
There's another movie, another movie that hackers inspired, Office Space.
Exactly.
And The Big Short.
How did hackers inspire jokes about Michael Bolton? Give me a break. That did not.
Because when you take a penny or you leave a penny, you just take one and no one knows it's gone. It's kind of the same thing with hacking the Gibson.
It's obvious that hackers skills. It's obvious that hackers was a huge inspiration for Saving Private Ryan. Like, we all know it. It's clear as day. It's the subtext of the entire film.
Although I can see Spielberg being a fan of hackers.
Forrest Gump could be a hacker.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. He could make his processor run really, really fast.
Downhill.
I don't mind the concept that Ian had, though, that they grow up and they're now heads of IT departments in corporate world or whatever the case may be. But like something happens, like, where Fisher Stevens comes out and he plants something in their jobs. Like he finds their jobs and gets them all busted and all connected. Like, like they're all working together and their jobs fire them and this and that, whatever. And now they have to basically try to figure out how they got fired. And
except Matthew Lillard's character, because he was homeless in Hackers, and I feel like he's off the grid. And
was he homeless? Like that?
He always wanted to crash.
He always wanted to crash at Nikon's.
Yeah, he's always, but he was brushing his teeth in the school bathroom. He always wanted to crash at someone's house, so he has to be the guy that's off the grid.
But they didn't mention that I guess it was issues with his parents, that he just didn't want to be home. Kind of.
Okay, same thing. He just doesn't want to be there. Okay, so he has a home he doesn't want to go, but he'd be off the grid. Okay, but because he was so smart, he has money, but he doesn't even use it because he's just so used to being off the grid. So he can be like the running joke where they're like, "Where'd you get this penthouse office?" And he's like, "Oh, I use it to crash at." And then he just has it all in dust. And it's
so
like
he could be the one that they go to because basically they're he's off the grid. So essentially, like, oh, we know that we can go try to collect ourselves there, and nobody will look for us.
See,
I actually think that would be a better movie than the first one.
Well, it could be a sequel that improves on the first one, like Terminator 2, Godfather 2, Aliens. I don't know,
Hackers
the Sting
2, Judgment Day.
American
Come hack
Ninja
with
2.
me if you want to live. I'll be hacked.
See?
I think this.
You are so proud of yourself for that one. I can't stand you. You are so proud of yourself for that stupid joke.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
It's a strong one.
It's got some legs. It's got some legs.
I'm just saying, sometimes you gotta hack to the. I'm just saying,
centipede, Mickey, knock it off.
Sometimes you gotta hack to the future. That's all I'm saying.
And sometimes you gotta climb Broke Hack Mountain.
Oh, this show is full of hacks. Anyway,
no, sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
So I could see the plague returning and waging war on like the financial system or like the power grid or something. Like he wages like a real nationwide event. He hacks the power grid, does all some kind of shit that people are really afraid of now, cyber terrorism stuff. He starts selling it all to China through his app TikTok or something.
There could be a lot of things that you can do with this concept.
Oh my God, one of them had to have worked at it.
Oh,
I was just gonna say, just for how you put in those little Easter egg for fun kind of things. One of them had to have worked at Enron.
Okay, and one of them had to work at FTX.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's one of them that just bounced around in every bad computer thing that's ever happened, business wise.
Oh, like from Gateway, I went to Enron. From Enron, I went.
Like
I get it.
One of them
would be Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was one of the
Joey
part
would
of the
be
marketing team that brought Minidisc to market.
Oh my gosh!
Because technically, let's give props where we have to give props. Technically, Joey cracked the Gibson first. He hacked the Gibson.
That's true. This is all Joey's doing. Wow, that's true.
It's
the great
really
Jesse Bradford.
Movie.
Swim fans are vindicated here and justified.
What about Swim
movie.
Fan 2?
That's a great movie.
Was he in Swim Fan 2? Does that still count?
Wait, what?
I don't even remember Swim Fan 2. Was there a Swim Fan 2?
Oh, I remember Swim Fan. Yeah,
we should VCR Redux Swim Fan.
That's what the world definitely needs.
Swim Fan 2 back in the habit.
Yeah. Deep dive. Swim Fan 2.
Oh, deep dive.
Deep dive. Oh, that's solid. The Leviathan.
That swimmer, made the Olympics at this point.
Yeah.
So,
and it all came from hackers.
So the plague returns, right? It's Fisher Stevens. I think we all agree on that. Somehow it's the big bad.
Yeah, I would like Lorraine Bracco.
I want them all. Everyone's got to be back.
Yeah,
everyone's back. Yeah,
and I think everybody would do it. And if you're pitching the movie that we're thinking about, it's very like modern, very adult. So I don't think they would feel like,
the biggest one is Angelina Jolie. Would she do it? But that would be how you sell that movie. You have to have Angelina Jolie back.
Well, you can't make the movie without Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
she's by far the biggest star of the movie now.
Yeah.
So if you were gonna get,
it may be tough to convince her to work with her ex-husband because her and Johnny Lee Miller were married.
Like in the 90s, man. It's fine.
I think she's
like 30 years ago now.
I think she's over that, man. She's moved on a couple times.
She's beyond Thunderdome.
Well, I don't know. Is there the cyber side of things? Is there something that like we haven't explored that's like relevant to computers today that like needs to be thrown in there? As
gaming.
I mean, that was in the
you could not do a Hackers 2 without involving something about the connection. The connection
Twitch. Now they can have their own show on Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, like you could have Matthew Lillard as a host of one of the Twitch shows.
Yeah,
like,
he took over that hack the planet
plague.
show.
The plague could be shadow running or like puppeteering like a dark gaming corporation that's gonna steal everyone's credit card and financial info.
Yeah, and he could be doing it through Twitch.
It's gonna hack the little people, but it's gonna take this team to save everyone somehow. They're gonna have to create some sort of digital virus to again, I don't know.
A virus to eat the virus to stop like the Fortnite from collapsing and everyone's money and coins being lost. Okay.
Oh, but that's a hack too now. I mean, like he could hack
into everyone who's playing Minecraft that day becomes a billionaire.
Yeah, I mean he can hack your credit card.
As long as at the very end of it, they just you make it so relevant to today's audience that they actually clear everybody's student loan debt. But that actually brings up a point though.
Well, that's a good hack.
You're going to get, you'd have to bring in like the QAnon conspiracy theorists and all this other stuff of how they're hacking into the world's computer and they're going to set everybody's debt to zero. And, who's the villains? Who are the bad guys? Well, if you set the world to zero, I mean.
Now, think about this. Do you remember the Y2K?
Interesting villainous plot.
The whole Y2K incident, or basically.
I don't think it was an incident.
Well, I'm saying, well, what was supposed to happen? That, I mean, like, if you think about it, you could do a movie in that time period too, where it's them in the 2000s, trying to figure this out.
So it's gonna be a 5-year time jump from the original movie. We're gonna de-age everybody and give them Nokia cell phones.
That's if you don't have the original cast. You could do it with a younger cast and go that way.
That's what everyone wants to see. 1999 in film. Ooh.
Hey, you know what?
I was partying like it was 1999.
I know it.
That Dreamcast.
I know what Mickey's doing, and that was a great straight to video 2002.
It would have been. It would have been.
That was a good.
I'm honestly surprised that this did not become a direct-to-cable franchise. Showtime didn't just start cranking these fucking things out.
Hey, it's because the movie, $20 million budget, only made $7 million. I mean, this movie bombed. That's why.
Actually, the opposite. It's a $7 million budget made $20 million.
Oh, did I read that wrong?
Yeah, $20 million. There should have been a sequel. I don't understand how there wasn't a sequel.
I think Angelina probably just blew up a little too fast, and it sort of got out of hand too quick. And there was a lot of other hacker adjacent movies. Like again, The Net. I liked The Net a lot when I was a kid, and The Net was probably, I'm guessing, a bigger hit just because Sandra Bullock was it was a little more of a different point in her trajectory. She'd already done Speed and a couple other things. You
even have Disclosure was kind of in that.
Oh, Disclosure! God, yeah. The Angel, come on and enter.
God, I haven't thought about that. That was the whole trilogy of sleaze in the 90s. It was Basic Instinct, Disclosure, and Sliver.
Indecent Proposal. And then there
was Indecent Proposal. You're right. Yeah, the quadrilogy.
Demi Moore was in a couple of those.
The Four Horsemen of Sleaze. Yeah. Well, is there? I mean, is there? I think we've pretty much.
We've hacked all of
the main ingredients. Yeah, I think we've hacked our way into your hearts and into the web in such a way that we can never be removed. And Ian will never forgive us for it. And we've done all the airborne tie-ins we could possibly do. So if you get these cyber hackers and their blades all revved up and you put them at the top of Devil's Backbone, I think things just might turn out okay.
I agree. I think it's going to be awesome. I think you could have one of them skating and one of them hacking as they're attached to the back of them. It's like a 2-person team. You bring the twins in from Airborne. I think it's going to be awesome.
Snake would kill it. Snake would kill it.
We've got Apple Watches, Xbox Connects, augmented reality. They could be rollerblading through the information superhighway. And
Snake's pretty solid on those rollerblades, man. He just stays in that position that whole time, man. He's pretty much on it.
Hashtag
like a rock.
The worst.
There's Chevys and then there's Snake.
Yep.
Well, before we wrap it up, is there anything you guys have got you want to let the people know about? Any articles, Ian? Any album releases, Mickey? Any screenplays, Sean? Or roast or anything?
I'm always doing something, and I still get pulled into this show. I don't know what I do. Every time I keep trying to advance myself, I keep getting pulled in. You know, it must be the quality films that truly need tender love care at a great sequel. And I think that's just what keeps me coming back despite all of my career advancements and accolades. So what can I say? Good job.
And better instincts.
Yes, yeah. It gets the better angels of my nature and judgment.
The City of Angels?
Yeah, something.
Now that's a good movie. Let's talk about that movie, not freaking.
No, we'll have to do that next week on Ian's show, which is on Sunday nights.
Where you're renting videos from a gas station.
That's right.
Yeah. You're renting videos out of gas stations and eating their pizza.
Cross-section of gas station pizza fans and City of Angels diehards.
That's right.
And Ian is the president and the founder of their appreciation society.
Instead of dinner and a movie, it's pizza and gas.
Yeah.
As long as you're listening to Lena.
Tonight on Pizza and Gas.
That's a great title.
Pizza and gas and a movie.
Start it up.
Beans and coffee.
I feel like it's like at that point you have to make it full trash, and it's pizza and a porno. Like pizza and a porno to go.
Well, that went dark.
That got dark real fast.
Speaking of the dark web in 1996, no.
Send us your pizza porno recipes at all right, well, before we can get out of this awkward segue, you Fandom fans might want to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when all you filthy animals get to keep the change for our Home Alone episode. As always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode.
Other than Hackers.
Yeah. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Fandom Spotlight, the How and I Network, and Pop Culture Punk.
And hit the little bell.
Back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.